I decided for day 3 of this journey into learning guitar, I was going to go over the challenges that I've been facing. So I touched on this a little bit in my day 2 video, but we're going to, instead of troubling you or having you painfully listen to me practicing, I wanted to go over some of the things that I'm experiencing as far as challenges go. So one of the first things, and I kind of mentioned this before, was is placement of the fingers on the neck. So, trying to figure out where to put my hand. And so I've been figuring, because I started trying to put my thumb here. I tried, with trying to place my thumb up here high on the top of the neck, and I'm realizing, and it might be because I do have small hands. I don't know if it's small hands, or if it's the size of this guitar, or if it's just, I one thing I do want to mention is I am older. I'm in my 50s, and I do have arthritis in my fingers, which is one of the reasons I decided to start doing this journey. A little cat down there decided to pop his little head in, but one of the reasons I decided to do this journey is that I've heard with the movement it can help with arthritis on the fingers too. So what I found out is if I put you do need to have your thumb giving you some support. So I did realize that. So like I've found that resting my thumb more toward the bottom gives me more freedom and span with my fingers to move a little bit easier on the strings. So that was one of the things that I had to kind of learn is that, you do want your thumb for support, to give you more range of movement on your fingers to help. It's kind of like a hinge, to give you that movement and support your fingers. But as I said, I found out I couldn't do it up here. I had to do it, put my thumb down here so that I could curl my fingers better and still have that range of motion. Also, another thing I'm finding is kind of almost trying to get in the habit of, instead of putting my fingers flat against the strings, putting them more curled on the top tips, almost like a ballerina, on their toes. It's like learning to press those chords down or the strings down with my fingertips, more with my fingertips curled, which can be hard because I do have, you can't really see it, but I do kind of have nails a little bit. So I'm torn whether I want to trim off my nails, or just get used to how it feels to press on that with, we're making sure I only press one string while I'm doing things. Also, I found that I get a little bit better sound if I when I'm holding down the string for the note, if I'm doing it on the frets closer to the lower part of the fret. So that's one thing that I have learned as well, and this has just been in a few days of practice. The other challenge that I have, and I think, this has to do with the bass part of the whole body of the guitar, is another thing. I don't know if this guitar is just too big for me, or I'm just not used to it, but like I'm having trouble with like where my arm sets here and trying to stretch around it. But then one of the other things that I noticed is that when I do, like when I'm trying to strum, because I'm not using a pick, I'm doing this. Do you see this? I'm leaning my fingers against the guitar, and what I found is it ends up getting, these fingers get really tired and stiff from holding it, because I realized I started getting really tense and stressed, putting a lot of pressure against those fingers, against the the guitar, the body of the guitar. So I've really got to figure out, that is something I'm going to actually ask my teacher about this next time, is how can I get away, what's the best way to hold this hand here to strum these strings without getting in the habit. I don't want to get in the habit of doing this because it's very painful. The other thing, so another thing that has been a challenge for me is the fact that practicing every day is, and for at least 30 minutes every day, finger fatigue. Finger fatigue is definitely a real thing. Your fingers aren't used to moving like this. They're not used to that movement. If you haven't played an instrument like I have not played an instrument since, when I was little. And I played just a little bit of viola, which is a little bit different than guitar. Your fingers aren't used to moving that way, not both hands. So, and then with me having that little bit of arthritis, it's definitely, finger fatigue is definitely a thing. So keep that in mind, that you're probably going to experience some finger fatigue. Last, the big thing that I want to talk about is the habit. Okay. It's something, when you pick up something new, with anything new that you start, any new journey, you're going to have that moment where it gets harder to motivate yourself. Everybody, you go into something, you're going to I'm going to do this. It's kind of like the New Year's resolutions. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this new thing. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this or do that. You go into it thinking, okay, I'm going to do this. And then when you get to the point where you start getting things like I am, where you get the sore fingers, the finger fatigue, different things like that, it gets more challenging to do that every day, to practice, to pick up and practice when your fingers ache, and whatnot. So I just want to, let you know that keep up with it, find reasons to motivate yourself, to push yourself, and be determined to push through it, because it's going to be worth it in the end. If it's, especially, you don't want to give up, but even if you go a day, if you get into that mode of, I'll just do it tomorrow. Well, every day that you skip, every day that you push it off it's going to make it more likely that you're going to probably find more excuses to put it off than to do it. And so it really is, that's one of the biggest challenges, not only with learning the guitar, but with learning anything or picking up any new habit. And I'm already starting to get there, so I had to kind of force myself to practice today. And so I wanted to let you know, keep going, keep at it, keep moving. I'm glad that I decided to do this video log or blog on learning to play the guitar, because it's helping push me to say, okay, and I know this is extra work on top of learning, that I have to keep up with videos too, but I'm glad that I did, because it's forcing me to, to practice so that I can put this content out for you guys. So with all that being said, I'm going to wrap it up here and say we're going to only do these from now on, at least for the immediate future. I'm only going to be putting out one video a week, and that is just so, I don't feel like doing it every day. Letting you guys listen to my progress every day is something that we all want to do. So if you think otherwise, if you want to listen to me actually practice, if you want me to try and do a video every day, go ahead and mention that in the comments down below. But for now, I'm going to start, my lessons are weekly. So I was thinking I'll put out a video each week here in the beginning, and then I'll probably stretch it out, to at some point probably doing a little bit less, like maybe, every other week or a month. Definitely I'll do a video at that month mark, so we can compare the first video to, my first day to where I am a month from now, and see where my journey goes. But I definitely will keep putting out something at least once a week, so that you can see my progress. And it'll probably go in the format of what I've learned, how far I've come, what I've learned, and then my, what challenges that I've faced, so that you kind of know that. So thank you so much for tuning in and joining me on this journey of mine, and I hope that you benefit from it as much and in some way as much as I am. So thank you again.